Good morning, year three. I'm sorry that you're not here to do this with me, but we know what we're doing. We've got some, Miss Fadra and I have been working on some videos to help you with your learning today, and then tomorrow we will start doing our learning in person on these computers. I've got your literacy for you, your English this morning. And we're going to start, like we start all of our English lessons, with a quick vocab blast. Now, my word for today is demanded. And I was having a think, what do we mean when we say that somebody has demanded something? And notice there's a way I'm saying that word, demanded. It's a bit forceful, isn't it? So this is what I came up with. Our definition of demanded is when you're asking for something with real forcefulness. So you really want it. You're not going to take no for an answer. And it might be that you want a thing, or it might be that you want an answer to a question that you've got. You're being that real forcefulness. So then what are those characteristics that we're talking about then? Here they are. You might be being quite angry with it. It might be just a little bit rude, not always, but it's got a part of rudeness in there. And again, there's that word, being forceful. So you're being really strong about it. You need that thing, or you need that answer. When might we see somebody demanding something then? You might have, this is one you might recognize, when somebody is shouting on the yard for play equipment. Give me that ball, I want it now. You're demanding that play equipment. Maybe you need an answer. I demand my answer, I need it now. Quick, what time is break time? I'm demanding to know. I need it because I've got a class that I need to go in and talk to about it. Or maybe you demand your rights. We talk about the fact that everybody has a right to an education. We demand that we find a way to teach you all in these circumstances. When might we see a non-example? When this isn't demanding, it's something different. Asking to have something passed. So maybe you're at the dinner table at home. Can you pass me the ketchup, please? You're not demanding the ketchup. You're asking for it. You might be wondering something. I wonder do you know what time break time is? That's not demanding. That's just, I've got a question I want to know the answer to. And maybe you're just questioning somebody about something. Can you tell me what the denominator is in a fraction? You're not demanding that. It's something that you want to know. So hopefully you can think about, when do we use that word demanded, and when would another word be more appropriate for that? Okay, now on to today's actual learning. Today's learning is all about using adjectives. I've just realized the date on that is wrong. Should have checked that before. So we're using adjectives today. So we're going to choose a noun. We're then going to describe it using adjectives. And I'm really looking for people extending that sentence, saying it's with something or in a something else. You'll see what I mean when we get onto that. Now, steady on here. I am going to get you thinking today about what is scary. So listen to this. Really want you to think this morning about, what do you find scary? I think about what I find scary. I'll tell you first thing, heights. I'm terrified of being up somewhere high. Maybe another thing for me, jellyfish. Don't know why, they really freak me out. And if I'm swimming in the sea and I feel something brush against my leg, I am convinced it's a jellyfish, and I will run out of the water, and I will probably have a little cry. What else do I find scary? Not always the dark. I can be quite happy out at night time, but sometimes if it's getting really dark and you really can't see anything and you're on your own, but you hear a sound behind you, I find that quite scary, a little bit terrifying. I quite like being scared. I like a good horror movie. And I like that feeling where your heart's starting to pump and race. So what do you find scary? Having a little think for yourself. If you want to pause the video at any point to tell somebody, hey, Mum, guess what I find scary? then you do that. Feel free. That's the best thing about these videos, is you can pause them at any point. I've got a list of suggestions. Here's some things that you might find scary. You might find ghosts scary. Some people are afraid of clowns. It's got a name, very complicated name that I can't remember. Tigers, crows, those black birds you see wheeling overhead. Heights, there you go. I'm not the only one. It's on the list. The unknown, stuff you don't know what it is. Buttons. If anybody's seen the film Coraline, then you might know why buttons can be a bit freaky. Daleks, hey, huge Doctor Who fan. Daleks, yes, terrifying. Madness, darkness, water. Some people are quite scared of water. Not you lot. You will go swimming. You're brilliant at it. Some people are scared of the dentist. Shadows. Again, that's that darkness idea. A swarm of bees. Spiders. So many people are scared of spiders. I don't understand why, but a lot of people are. Plague of locusts. That's when you get thousands upon millions of locusts all appearing in one place. War, death, bats, heat, strangers. We talk a lot about the difficulty of strangers, dangers of strangers. The Shard, that's a really tall building in London. The River Thames. Confinement, that means being trapped somewhere. I wonder, if you were to pause the video for a minute, whether you would be able to say what your top 5 scary things in there are. If I was doing it, mine would be number 1, possibly number 2. I think number 3 I really don't like. I would say number 4, then number 5. Those would be mine. But if you stop the video, pause it for a little bit, can you work out what your scariest 5 things are on that list? If you go. Okay, if you've restarted the video, let's have a look at our next task. I want you just to think about these for a minute. Out of those things, which of them are only look scary, but actually, if you ever encounter them, aren't really scary? I'm thinking things like bats. Bats fly up in the sky and they're really good at avoiding things. There's actually no real reason to be afraid of bats. Just people don't like the flappy wings. Daleks aren't real. They're a fun thing on a TV program, but actually just an actor in a big box, isn't it? Not really scary. Buttons. Freaky in the film Coraline, but is there any other reason to be scared of buttons? So, but some of them, fair reason to be scared of them. Being trapped, I think that's a fairly good reason. War, that is something dangerous. Heat, there is a reason people are scared of heat. Get heat, then you are afraid of being burnt, which is fair enough. So have a pause, have another think. Which of them do you think only look scary and which ones are genuinely scary? Pause the video for a minute. Okay, you've restarted the video, you're back with me. Let's move on. All of those things that we have just been talking about, do you know what sort of word they are? Now, at this point in the class, I would take some answers, but I'm going to tell you now. I'm hearing, what sort of word are they? Of course they are. They are nouns. All of those words were the names of things. So, there are different types of nouns. We've talked about this in different lessons. Again, you might want to pause. This might be something you talk about. It might be something you could write a list. You could just think about it while you're looking at the video. But can you work out what the 4 different types of noun are? There are common nouns. Now, common nouns are just things. Water, bats, they're things. So those are common nouns. Proper nouns are things' names. You can always spot a proper noun. I'm just realised I'm going to turn the spooky music now because we're moved on now. That's better. So proper nouns, you can spot a proper noun because they always start with a capital letter. So I'm looking on this list. I've got Daleks, starts with a capital letter. The River Thames starts with a capital letter. So those are our proper nouns. Wonder whether there's any others. Abstract nouns, those are our ideas. So they're not really a thing that you can point out. We talked about this with Leon and the place between. Madness is an abstract noun. Not a real thing, is it? The unknown, that's another abstract noun. And then finally, collective nouns. Now, they're the groups of nouns. So we haven't just got one thing, you've got a whole group of them, and the group has its own name. There's a couple of examples on there. One of them is a plague of locusts. So locust is the insect. Locusts, more than one insect, but if you've got a whole load of them, hundreds, and like I say, millions of them all flying through the air together, it is called a plague. So again, have a pause of the video. Can you work out which ones are common nouns, which ones are proper nouns, which ones are abstract nouns, and which ones are collective nouns? Okay, restarted the video. Wonderful. Let's move on. What we're going to do then, our main activity is just writing some nice simple sentences where we're going to describe fear, the things that we are afraid of, what it feels like when we have fear. So I've picked one of my nouns from here, and I'm using it in a sentence. My noun is spider. So fear is a something spider. I want to describe the spider. So I'm going to, fear is a something spider. What can I have? I've got a bunch of adjectives here. Ooh, a creeping spider, a silent spider. Those are quite creepy. An enormous spider, a vast spider. Fear is, I'm going to go with creeping. Fear is a creeping spider with, and now I get to go to town a bit. I really describe it brilliantly. Fear is a creeping spider with long, hairy legs and clashing jaws. Ugh. Now it's starting. Even I'm not afraid of spiders, but if I found a spider like that, it might put the wind up me a bit. Definitely. That's not a bad sentence to describe what fear feels like. Have a go at another one. Fear is something darkness. Ooh. Fear is, oh, I've got it. Watch this. Fear is silent darkness in a, where could this darkness be? Fear is silent darkness in, oh, no, not long, no. Fear is silent darkness in, I'm going to just change that to an unknown cave with overwhelming shadows. Again, I think that's quite terrifying. Fear is silent darkness in an unknown cave with overwhelming shadows. Okay, guys. Here is your task then. You're going to describe fear. Use some of the words that you've got on the screen. You've got the dark blue nouns, you've got the light blue adjectives. You can use those, or you could pick some of your own. Make it your own. What is fear for you? But whatever you're doing, you've got that fantastic sentence structure that's across the bottom of the screen, just here. Okay? So use that to help you write your sentences. Once you've done your sentences, please, you can email them to me if you write them on the computer. email them to me at y3birch@australiabyronwood.org, or to Miss Fadra, if you're in Miss Fadra's class, to y3willow@australiabyronwood.org. You can also take a photo of your work if you've handwritten it and email that to me instead. And then we've also got a maths lesson for you, a reading lesson, and today is going to be a computing lesson. And then tomorrow, you'll have seen on the emails that we've been sending that you have got a timetable of the work that we're going to be doing from Thursday onwards, where you'll be able to do all the different lessons during the day. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you live on the computer screen on Thursday. And yeah, hope you're all staying well and safe. I'll speak to you then. Okay.